These are the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and discipline, for comprehending words of insight, and for receiving instruction in wise living, and in righteousness, justice, and equity, to impart prudence to the simple, and knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and gain instruction, and the discerning acquire wise counsel by understanding the proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake the teaching of your mother, for they are a garland of grace on your head and a pendant around your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not yield to them. If they say, come along, let us lie in wait for blood, let us ambush the innocent without cause, let us swallow them alive like Sheol, and whole like those descending into the pit. We will find all manner of precious goods. We will fill our houses with plunder, throwing in lot with us. Let us all share one purse. My son, do not walk the road with them, or set foot upon their path, for their feet run to evil, and they are swift to shed blood. How futile it is to spread the net where any bird can see it, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. Such is the fate of all who are greedy, whose unjust gain takes the lives of its possessors. Wisdom calls out in the street, she lifts her voice in the square. In the main concourse she cries aloud, at the city gate she makes her speech. How long, oh simple ones, will you love your simple ways? How long will scoffers delight in their scorn, and fools hate knowledge? If you had repented at my rebuke, then surely I would have poured out my spirit on you. I would have made my words known to you, because you refused my call, and no one took my outstretched hand, because you neglected all my counsel and wanted none of my correction in turn. I will mock your calamity, I will sneer when terror strikes you, when your dread comes like a storm, and your destruction like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish overwhelm you, then they will call on me, but I will not answer. They will earnestly seek me, but will not find me, for they hated knowledge and chose not to fear the Lord. They accepted none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. So they will eat the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the waywardness of the simple will slay them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell in safety, secure from the fear of evil.
Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. Happy Monday morning to you. It's the Monday morning meeting. Hopefully you had a beautiful, restful weekend, Lord's Day. We're back to Monday. Let's get at it. Grace and peace, everyone. Thank you so much. Everybody's popped in to the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much, Giselle, for hopping up in here. Juju B said, what's going on? with you. How are you? Good to see you, friend. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share, hype, turn on the notifications, support the channel, and become a member. I agree with all of that. I approve this message. What's going on, Katie? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you, Amethyst. Always good to see you. Thank you so much for not only modding, but for being a supporter of the channel. Grace and peace to the JWIT podcast, the mods, the members, the subscribers, and the chat family. Shout out to y'all. What do we got here? How are you? Good morning, Chriselle. How are you? The Chosen. Good to see you. I appreciate y'all stopping through this morning. All right, I got a good one. I think I got a good one this morning. I am going to take a slight deviation because last night we had the opportunity to pray for Erica Kirk. And I will admit, I thought it worked out. It went exactly as I anticipated, which is very supportive. Lots of people said that they were very encouraged by it. And I thought it was needful to do. I do think that there's some time we need to like pull back and realize like, man, there's a lot of weirdness going on in the world, and we need to probably pull that apart and take some time and look at it, especially as persons who profess to be in Christ. So I did that, and I thought it went well, but I knew deep down inside, in the very depths of who I am, I knew that the demons would come out, and they have not disappointed me in any way, shape, or form. So I am going to divert from my text sheet and what I had planned to start with, because I'm going to read. I haven't done this in a long time. I am going to do a Dusty Comments reading of one of the comments that is in the comment section of last night's video. Because we are literally praying for Erica Kirk, for moms and all that kind of stuff like that. And this person found some way to make it about something that it wasn't. So I'm going to do something. I haven't done this in a while, so we're going to have a little bit of fun. Shout out to, I think it's, there's a couple of people who've been asking me to go back and do Dusty Comments. So ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, we got Dusty Comments. So this is the comment. I should pin it to the top. That would be even more violent. Okay, I'm going to pin it to the top when we get done. All right, so this is the comment in question today. I'm like, how did you come up with this? How did you land here as your place of issue? So of course it's the prayer video yesterday. Nope. Israel murdered Charlie Kirk with Trump's blessing. TPUSA carried out the logistics, and Erica is trying her psychopathic best to play the grieving widow. She ain't no Vanessa Bryant. All of you are Israeli 304s, and we know it. I said, God bless. I appreciate the comment. Oh, you like it that? There's another one. Israel forfeited its rights exist long before this genocide, before the apartheid, before the 2 decades of sniping children for sport, before they rioted at the right to rape prisoners. Go collect your shekels, 304. Thank you for your wise, insightful, and well thought out comments. We're all better because you've stopped by. Grace and peace. I'm not done. You Israeli stooges are selling out your congregation for a few shekels, false prophets. It will be better that a millstone was tied around your neck and you were thrown into the sea. The only comfort I have is that you have virtually no followers. Now, mind you, this person right here has 3 subscribers. I just want you to see that. He has 3 subscribers. And I just said and follow. God bless you. I appreciate the comment. Y'all. I might do a station break if he comes back and says something else. I might do another. Yo, find something else to do with yourself, man. You do not want this smoke this morning. My coffee was entirely too good, and my pettiness is on 10. You do not want this. Go find something else to do, please. Grace and peace, everybody. I know y'all are like, what the world are we listening to this morning, Jason? What are you doing? I'm over here making fun of trolls. Look, we make fun of trolls here. We're making fun of them. Trolls will not get no quarter here whatsoever. None whatsoever. So shout out to the best live channel on the internet. Thank y'all, everybody who's already jumped up in here. I appreciate you. And I do want to say this. So, okay, let's get serious. Okay, let's get serious. Okay, this is a serious part of the show. I'm being for real. The Carmelo Anthony trial, okay, most of us approve, thumbs up, agree that Carmelo Anthony is exactly 100% where he needs to be. He's in the Gray Bar Hotel, right? Where locks on the outside, you can't get out from inside. He's in the Gray Bar Hotel. That's where he's supposed to be. That is the right place for Carmelo Anthony to be. Now, the race hustlers, the race idolaters feel that Carmelo Anthony did not get a fair trial. Fair trial. And I don't fully understand where they're going with that argument, but let's just grant them he did not get a fair trial. So what they did was they pushed, clamored, threw a tantrum on the cereal aisle, and they got to a hearing for an appeal, kind of expedited because it moved fast. In that appeal process, all the information that was not shared in the trial was made clear, was shown. Things about Austin Metcalf and his brother, things about Carmelo Anthony. And I'm like, there's not one solitary thing that came out about Carmelo Anthony that made me think that where he's located in the Gray Bar Hotel is not where he needs to stay. And I'm really kind of confused because we're going to watch an interview that his mom and dad did. And everybody who said that his dad seems like he's low IQ, his dad doesn't seem like a smart fellow, this video is not going to help that argument. This video is not going to debunk that argument at all. Because he's sitting there talking to Willie D. Maybe he's like reflecting the ignorance of the person he's talking to. I don't know. But they knew this about Carmelo when they were saying that he was a good student, he's a great guy, he walks little old ladies across the street, he rescued cats from trees. When they knew these things about their son. They already knew it. But they were sitting there playing in our faces, telling us how great he is, he's a wonderful person, and, you know, he clips coupons or something, right? He picks up trash on the side of the road. Like, why did they do that, knowing that the information that we know is crazy work? They're going to sit here with Willie D and pretend like that we still didn't see this information about him saying him stalking his girlfriend, saying that he wanted to delete somebody. I'm talking about, again, everybody's heard the whole thing about wanting to insert a metal object into somebody and lick the blood off. That's crazy work. That's not normal behavior. So we're going to pull this in. I just really want somebody to explain to me why you think, here's a question. If you are a Carmelo Anthony, needs a fair trial, needs a second trial, needs a whatever person, what do you think is needed for him to not be where he is today? What will be shown in this second trial that you think will get him off? I would love for you to explain that if you are a Carmelo Anthony apologist, if you believe that he didn't get a fair trial. And I'm going to grant you the not, quote unquote, not fair trial. But the new evidence has come out, fair trial or not, the evidence isn't fair. Okay? The evidence is damnable. Let me just tell the truth, right? So I would love for you to explain that to me, but let's go ahead and do this. Let's make this happen. All right, pull this in. Grace and peace, everybody. Y'all know how we like to do it. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
So how do you think it went? So we just wrapped up the first day for the motion for a new trial. So how do you think it went?
The audio is super low on this too.
Everything we've noticed, a lot of things about the boys that wasn't sent out to the public. You agree? Based on what was told, the narrative, it hurt us, man. It just made us. It's right now. I'm still. It was so much at that time.
Yeah, it was a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Damn, the dude had a penchant for fighting, for violence.
Yes.
Very, very
Never
violent.
put out there.
Yeah, like smacking on.
Okay, Austin Metcalf was not a saint. I don't think anybody ever said that, by the way. And please let me know, did anybody ever say that Austin Metcalf was a saint? I think the problem is Austin Metcalf is no longer alive. That's kind of like the problem here. Nobody was arguing that Austin Metcalf was a perfect kid. They were just arguing about the fact that he's not alive anymore. And the fact that Willie D, because again, Willie D bent over backwards, turned himself into a pretzel for George Floyd. He didn't want George Floyd's background and history and propensity for violence to be brought to the forefront. He just wanted Derek Chauvin to be put in the Gray Bar Hotel. Now that Carmelo Anthony's in the Gray Bar Hotel, he wants to bring up Austin Metcalf's past as if that's some kind of justification for what Carmelo Anthony did. Because remember, they've never been able to explain why he had a knife on the track meet in the first place.
His friends, or so-called friends, smacking on
Wordings he
folks,
was using.
choking his own mama.
Mama, yeah, that threw me
You
off.
know?
I mean, your mama. I said, man, you got to be different.
Threatening to slap his daddy.
Daddy,
and, you
yeah.
know,
Stalking his girlfriend, sending text messages about how you're going to delete your girlfriend and lick blood off of a knife. I agree, that is different.
do nothing. And, this kid right here, like he was a real problem. You know, when I heard all of that stuff, I'm talking about a treasure trove of incidents captured on his phone. It ain't like this is not third-hand knowledge. This is him recording himself in most cases, or passing along text messages.
Yes, and it was very shocking. Like I said, right now, it's so much to take in because it's like, man, what?
What he was less violent than your own child. Carmelo Anthony was in therapy. Carmelo Anthony had been suspended. Carmelo Anthony had been kicked off a team. I mean, let's just be honest. Carmelo and Austin Metcalf, in some degree, were really running neck and neck. They both had wild childhoods. Why does that matter? And you got to speak big about your own child. I think that's why the mom is so quiet. I'll be honest with you. Because I think she realizes, like, dude, what are we doing? Like, dude, what are we doing? I think she knows that they're full of crap. And that bow tie is tied wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody to do that and how that picture was painted, like it was the perfect angel.
Like
I
your
just feel,
child.
like I said, I'm going to shock this to mama.
Yeah.
And you took your mama.
Yeah. Kayla, how hard was it to hear them in there talking, the prosecutor, Worski, speaking publicly about your son, saying things that you know that are not true?
It was very hard. It was very hard.
Like what?
It was very hard.
What did Worski say that wasn't true? I would like to know that, if anybody could tell us. Like, what was it specifically?
Yeah. So, and as a father, I saw your reaction many, many times. You know, and you were like, it was like you wanted to say something. How hard was it not to say something?
Man, it's hard, man. God is real. That's what I can tell you, man. It was hard.
Yeah.
Based on, the temperature we have right now with, like I said, like it's like, man,
Yeah.
the things that was revealed, the mindset of these kids, of them, that's what they do.
What about your child, though? What about your child? Because remember, your child is the one that actually did the deletion. Your child is the one, again, them doing bad things doesn't give you permission to stab them. Because you have no evidence, no proof that Carmelo knew that they did those bad things. So what was he like putting them out of their misery? Like, what are we doing here? Crazy work. Hey, that didn't work.
Could have been enough.
Right.
That's what hurts more than anything. Man, as a father, it's like, man, like, what do you, as a black father, well, how can you have a conversation with your son? What can you really tell your son?
Don't kill people. That's what you tell your son. Don't kill people.
Attorneys,
Remarkable.
led by Russell Wilson, knocked it out the park.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
knocked it out the park.
Yes.
You know, how satisfied is it to know that you have the type of representation that you have?
I mean, it's a blessing.
Yeah, yes.
It really is a blessing.
Being God is real. Like I tell them,
God is real.
Man, we was a family that was.
We about to get that money. We trying to get that money.
Think about it. They lied on us. We bought cars. We spent the money. We did all this thing. And think about it. They doing the same thing in Nolan.
Yeah.
Attack their jobs. It's if people don't see this is it's like they have a playbook. Oh, this was going on. All right, it's the play, and everybody know. I got a famous lady telling me this. Titi, I call her Titi. Titi said, "Man, they know how to stay on. They know how to stay on task. They know. They stay on code.
Right.
They stay on code like that. The same things happen with Nolan.
No.
Same thing. They went to their job. They lied about them, saying they blow the money. They this and that. Like, wow.
How do you navigate?
The fact that the Nolan Wells case is what it is. Put that over there on the side. The fact that you are trying to grift off of the Nolan Wells case is going to have to be studied by science. That's crazy work, man. How is it that you are literally looking at that case and trying to insert your son who killed somebody into it? That's crazy work, man. Again, I don't even talk about the Nolan Wells case because I don't have full intel on it, but that's beside the point. Why is it that you are literally trying to insert yourself, which I do know this though, Nolan Wells didn't kill nobody. That I do know. Your son killed somebody. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. This is the end of this. Let's go.
Those insults and lies. They're like, people saying all these untruths. People just saying things that you know to be a flat out lie.
What's the untruth?
How do you navigate through that and try to maintain some sense of sanity? You know, when you want to just
Don't listen to Willie D.
explode.
Man, talking to God, this woman here, me and her, we vent. Like I said, I feel like what the Lil Mo used to say there, I cry, you cry. Man, we grew more than anything. Like, so we lean on each other right now. I lean on family.
Yeah.
It's a very hard. This is just hard. Period.
Yeah.
Like, it's both sides. It's definitely, but it's hard. Even, like I said, even with the lies. I mean, we was lied on.
Mhm.
We was lied on, and it's just like, like I said, it's the same play. It was the same play. And if people don't see the play, is that telling you we can't win for losing?
Right.
Like, you would think about it, was the exact same play. They went,
How would you win? I would love for, instead of using very flowery, emotional, unanchored words, explain how you were supposed to win. Your child stabbed somebody. Explain what does winning look like? What was winning supposed to be? Like, I don't understand that. And please don't conflate the Nolan Wells story and yours, because again, as far as I know, I don't believe Nolan Wells stabbed anybody. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed it. Email management if I did. Your son actually killed somebody. Like, please make that make sense. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't even matter how terrible a person Austin Metcalf was. We see no evidence of a scrambler or scrape. We see no shrum going on under the tent. We see no fighting going on, anything of that nature. He just stabbed him in cold blood. Why can't we just say that? That's part of the problem. We won't just say somebody is evil, somebody is wrong. But that's it. And Lord knows the only reason we're having this discussion is because Carmelo Anthony's black. Because if the tables was flipped, y'all would not be having any problem with Austin Metcalf being at the Gray Bar Hotel. So take that same energy and apply it justly, equal weights and measures, and say, you know what? Carmelo Anthony deserves to be in the Gray Bar Hotel. I'm going to say that. He's where he's supposed to be. He's not going to get out. I feel very confident in that. It doesn't matter. Even if they get a second trial, a third trial, they go before the intergalactic grand tribunal of foolishness, they're still going to be in the Gray Bar Hotel. There's no way around it. He killed somebody. Accept it and keep it moving. Work with the kids that y'all still got. Instead of out here caping and looking ridiculous and retarded over somebody who committed a crime. There's no way around that. All right, let's finish up. And I apologize. The audio was super janky here. I don't even think they even have mics on.
After their family, went after their job, so they purchased it. They said we did it too. We can't work. Our reputations are ruined. Like
Because of you.
Situations, it's like it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, that's the playbook. You're right. That's what they do. They, create chaos and then play the victim.
Shout out to Willie D. I mean, it is what it is. I think that the problem here is that people refuse to actually take accountability and say, this is something that I'm accountable for. You ruined your own reputation. That's right. Because I guarantee you, if they had gotten up there and said, you know what, our son did wrong. We love him. We're praying for him. But he is now a resident of the Gray Bar Hotel. He is in the hands of, what state are they in? Okay, he's in Texas. He's in the hands of the Texas judicial system. We're praying for him that he learned something. I think more people would have respected them than respect them now, because very few people respect them and see them as honorable men, mom and dad. Because why? Because it looks like they're not taking accountability. Of course, we could talk about if they had embraced the Metcalf family, if they had showed some level of remorse or some contrition, absolutely. But none of that happened. You still out here talking about they do this. Who are they? What you trying to say? What you trying to say? And see, once you say that, nobody respects you. So yeah, your reputation is garbage because you dialed it up. You put it in the garbage can. You put your own reputation in the trash, and you mad that people look at your reputation saying it's trash. That's crazy work. Can y'all do me a favor? Hold on, I'm going to take a little station break. Okay. We got to take a little station identification break. If you've been hanging out with us this morning, I am doing a Dusty Comments read aloud because I have a commenter who is Dusty. Hey, Dusty, man. They're a Dusty commenter. All right. So on my video last night, praying for Erica Kurt, I got somebody in here. The demons got mad about that thing. The demons did not like that we were praying for Erica and such of that nature, and moms and women in general. They didn't like it. So this person, I'm going to just keep reading because the person keeps replying back. Bless God. What God, lowercase g, are you referring to, demon? You're a liar. Just like Satan, you absolutely do not appreciate the truth. I said, okay, thanks for this back and forth. I'm just going to keep doing it. I don't even care. Today, I feel like being petty. So every time the person replies back, we'll do a little station break. A little read aloud. Okay. I want to talk about two topics that they seem different, but I don't think they are. The story about the surrogate mom, the surrogate who the parents wanted her to delete the baby, but she chose not to. Baby was born. And I don't know what you want to call this foolishness with Clancy. I don't even know what to call that. But it seems like, I think it's fair to say last week and the week prior, women have been collecting L's like nobody's business. And it's problematic. So I want to look at this video about the surrogate mom and then talk about the women that have been supporting this Clancy thing. Because it's going to have to be studied, man. It's got to be studied. It just seems so odd to me that women have become so callous and so cold toward children. We're not talking about, toward, adults, but toward children. Like, why do we have to actually argue about defending kids now? That's crazy work, y'all. So let me pull this in. Shout out to the best live channel on the internet. I will leave all these videos are linked in the description. So if you want to go back and check them, or if I didn't, and I'll put the closed caption on too, by the way. So let's do this, Jason. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Y'all know I like Catherine. That's my girl now.
Okay, everyone, a short video today about a surrogacy case out of Texas. And this one, in my view, is not complicated legally. The surrogate mother is from Alaska. Her name is McKenna West. Now, she was contracted through an organization called Worldwide Surrogacy Specialists to carry a child to term, the biological child of Nausheen Gilkar and Omar Ahmed, both
What?
residents of California. So the biological parents contributed all of the genetic material. The child was diagnosed at 20 weeks in utero to have a rare heart condition, hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Now, it's a congenital condition in which the left side of the heart is underdeveloped, requiring immediate surgeries after birth and potentially lifelong medical complications. The biological parents told the surrogate to have an abortion. The surrogacy
gosh.
contract provides for abortion on demand. Now, that contractual provision is legally unenforceable, and McKenna West refused on personal grounds and said she would give birth and raise the child herself without help from the biological parents, but they refused the offer and demanded she have an abortion.
But why? But why not? Like, why? What's wrong with that? That just seems like a fair deal. She's got the baby in her. Like, let her have it. And they sign off any responsibility. You can't come back in 10 years, talk about you want child support or something like that. Like, what's wrong with that? That's crazy. They would rather the child not be alive than be alive with a mother that cares for it. Okay.
Again, as I mentioned, no state allows someone else to force anyone else to have an abortion. So even if it's in the contract, the provision is void, not enforceable. Now, McKenna West fled to Texas, where it's illegal to terminate a pregnancy because of birth defects or fetal abnormalities. So let me
That's how
stop
she got to
right there
Texas.
because
Okay.
we've stumbled onto our first legal issue again. Was the surrogate mother in breach of the surrogacy contract by refusing to terminate the pregnancy on demand? No, because of a key principle in contract law. Contracts that violate public policy are void and will not be enforced by a court. And so I'm referring to the abortion on demand provision. Now, the drafters of the contract, Worldwide Surrogacy Specialists, probably would say the contract wasn't void in Alaska or California, but that it is void and unenforceable in Texas. Now, they got the last part right, but the contract's abortion on demand provision isn't enforceable anywhere. Now, there's probably a provision in the contract that even restricts the surrogate mother's travel to a state like Texas, but that provision is obviously unenforceable as well. In any event, if the surrogate mother were to be held in breach of the contract, what would be the biological parent's remedies for a material breach of the surrogacy contract? Contract damages. That's it. And contract damages are monetary damages. That's all the biological parents would be entitled to, if the contract is found to have been breached at all. Now, that's the worst case scenario for the surrogate mother. The biological parents wouldn't be entitled to an injunction forcing termination of the fetus. So this issue is about legal remedies. Monetary damages compensate a victim. For example, a contracting party if the contract is breached by the other party or parties to the contract. Most contract cases will resolve with monetary damages, compensatory damages. Now, courts disfavor injunctions, especially to resolve contract disputes. An injunction is a court order that tells a party to do something or refrain from doing something. They're disfavored because they intrude on the personal freedom of the enjoined person. Now, a person against whom the injunction issues is considered to be enjoined, and the injunction requires constant judicial supervision. Now, to bring it back to the surrogacy contract, I would say that a contract provision telling a surrogate mother to terminate a pregnancy would violate public policy in every state, because a woman may be legally allowed to choose to terminate a pregnancy in certain circumstances in various states, but no one else can force that woman, even under a contract, to terminate a pregnancy. That's
so
not what
wild.
Roe v. Wade ever allowed. Now, Roe v. Wade is no longer the law, but that's beside the point. It never allowed a court to enforce an abortion on demand provision in a surrogacy contract. Now, the biological parent's contract remedies in this instance are compensatory damages only if they have any remedies at all. There will never be a lawfully issued injunction by any court with regard to an abortion on demand provision in a surrogacy contract, ever. Even with regard to the travel restriction, in my view, the biological parent's remedies, at most, would be compensatory damages. Now, the surrogate mother is seeking full custody. She gave birth and obtained a court order through the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, for medical treatment and surgeries to be administered immediately. And the court order prohibits the child from being taken out of state to California, where the birth parents reside. The birth parents are currently in Texas. They're regarded as the legal guardians for now, but they've been enjoined by the Texas court from withholding the medical treatments or
Wow.
taking the child out of state. Now, I believe that full custody for the surrogate mother is warranted by these unusual circumstances. The biological parents at first demanded she have an abortion, then refused her offer to give birth and raise the child without financial assistance from them. They still demanded she have an abortion. Then the biological parents allegedly, and this next part is alleged, said that they would take the child to California and pay for palliative care only, which is pain management treatment, but they wouldn't pay for surgeries to treat the hypoplastic left heart syndrome. So that part is alleged, but if
Isn't that
true,
torture?
would add fuel to the argument that they expect the child to die and do not plan to intervene. Now, I mean, they
That's
call that
crazy.
parenting. Most of us would call it nihilism.
That
Now,
sounds
at
like
this
torture.
point, in my view, the legal issue is they have to be judged unfit parents. They obviously don't want a ruling like that against them, so they could avoid it by ceding full custody to the surrogate mother, because the child's safety is an issue. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, y'all go and check out, real quick, I'm going to leave the link again. Catherine Park. I like her, man. I think she has again, it doesn't have to be super dramatic. I'm going to just go ahead and grab that and drop it in the chat right now. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and support her channel. She does an excellent job. And I just love the way she does it. Super to the point, short, quick, to the point. She hits it. So anyway, y'all make sure you support good content creators because that's the kind of stuff we want to see more of. So shout out to Catherine Park. Wait, let me see this right here. What did you say? Deb says that forcing someone to terminate. However, many, many years ago, women who donated eggs were promised anonymity, and now laws are changed. So who knows? Yeah, I'm not really a big super fan, if there's such a thing. I'm not a super fan of some of the medical interventions because they seem like they create way more problems than they solve. Way more problems than they solve. So, like, I know somebody said that they're not really a fan of surrogacy. Yeah, I can kind of feel you on that. So, yeah, surrogacy is a whole evil next to build your own baby. Yeah, so there's a lot there. There's a lot there. And I totally respect everybody in regards to that. But I do think that the deletion of a baby because he or she's going to have a health malady is crazy work. Is crazy work. Because I don't know how far along we would, if we invited that, what if doctors started saying, oh, well, we think your child's going to have a problem when they're 12. Or your baby's going to have an issue when they're 5. You might as well go on and delete it now. Because those 60 months, they're not going to be able to do something at 61. So you might as well just go and delete them now. That's crazy work. I don't think that's the way that we want to go, in my opinion. You're more than welcome. She says, thank you for doing the prayers with Erica. It was nice to see her being held up instead of being torn down. You're more than welcome. It was my pleasure to pray for others. It's our duty, and it should be our joy to pray for others. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them. I think, personally, I believe some of these interventions really go beyond. Again, they're giving the idea that we know better than God. In my opinion, that we're saying God did not allow this, so therefore we know better than that. And I think that's a slippery slope. All right, another content creator. I forgot her name, by the way. I don't remember her name. It's the Monday morning show, and I don't remember everybody's name. All right. Like I said, last week, women were really not looking good last week. So let's pull this in, and let me hear what y'all think.
This week was a bad look for women. First, an absolute moron on the internet said this.
Truest thought on this is that I think that trans women have a more beautiful understanding what womanhood is.
I agree.
I think that
What? Wrong. Incorrect. Then Lindsay Clancy was put on trial for strangling her 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and 8-month-old with exercise bands. And women on the internet responded by posting solidarity videos with her, throwing ice at bathtubs to release their rage, and by protesting on the killer's behalf outside of her courtroom. Everybody needs committed. Then a North Dakota mother the throats of her 3-year-old, 1-year-old, and 5-month-old after telling the dad to say goodbye to the kids. The only child to survive was the 1-year-old named Colton. I mean, this is despicable. What is going on? Also this week, a crazy chick posted a video of herself to social media pouring hot wax on her
This is
children,
crazy.
lighting her house on fire and twerking. Oh, and it turns out that she's also an illegal alien from Cuba. So she's been arrested and detained. Then there's Jessica Bowie, who apparently went from blue-haired lib to full-fledged supporter. She was just arrested for plotting to BOMB the New York State Capitol and then flee to the Middle East. What a perfect use of free will. I should point out here that as of 2020, according to Pew Research, over 50% of liberal women under the age of 30 reported having a mental health condition.
I
And
believe
then
it.
this week, the governor of New Jersey signed a bill effectively banning Christians from praying outside of abortion clinics, and she did that with a smile. And last week, the Massachusetts governor signed a bill allowing women to terminate the pregnancy up to the point of birth. In America, there are more than 1 million each year, and if it were counted as a cause of death, it would be number 1 by leaps and bounds. Also, here's what a baby looks like at 20 weeks.
It's a girl.
20 weeks, heartbeat. She's a girl. So, great job, ladies. We cannot define what a woman is, but we think trans dudes have a better understanding of what womanhood is. We defend mothers who their children, and for every 3.2 live births in America, there is 1 abortion. Also, we're unhappier than we've ever been. Even though, as this person points out, we won. Men are doing terribly. Women are doing amazing. We make more money. We have lower rates of addiction, alcoholism. We live longer. We can fly fighter planes and be in combat. Marriage is optional. Divorce is no fault. We win over 99% of custody battles. We control fertility at will and can't get drafted. But we're unmarried and we're unhappy. So, just another week here of modern feminism destroying womanhood.
And I really want us to have a conversation about that. Like, do we not see that we are destroying, and I say we in general, like we're destroying society. Like we're destroying the fabric of society where men and women can't get together and get married and build families. We have, again, so we will delete little people in the womb. And good gracious, if they're born, we'll go ahead and make a hashtag and support the person. That is some crazy work, y'all. That is some outrageous behavior. And I do think that there's something cold. The love of a parent toward their children seems to have gone completely out. The coals are finished. The embers are finished. How have we gotten here that we don't, like parents, like we have to have a conversation about loving kids and taking care of and protecting children. That is some wild work. I don't know how we got here. I really don't. It's some wild work. But I do appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. The Monday morning meeting. I'm looking over here to see if our friend has replied anything. No, I think they're done. Praise the Lord. I'm tired of commenting on them. Okay. So let's jump to a maybe not so, actually, I think all these conversations have been pretty serious. But, all right, the Charlie Kirk trial, the Tyler Robinson trial, is still in the mix. We're still in the process. We should be hearing back from the judge, Graft, I believe it is. Don't quote me on that. I think it's September 1st. We're supposed to hear back, I believe, on whether or not the trial is going to go forward or they're going to finish up their arguments on soon enough. So Melba Pierce, who is a fantastic legal mind out here in LawTube, she was speaking about the Tyler Robinson trial and some of the reasons why they wanted to get the death penalty off of the, get some of those aggravating circumstances off. It was really interesting, some of the arguments that they were making, because I didn't realize that his attorneys were making some arguments. One of the arguments is that he was too good of a shot. He was too good of a shot. Therefore, nobody else was in jeopardy because he he shot at the target that he was going to hit. Nobody else was going to needed to worry. That's crazy. So let me pull this in. I had never heard this. So shout out to Melba Pierce, the resident legal diva. I will tell you this, though, Pearson. I will tell you, she does use bird hands every now and then. She uses her hands quite a bit to speak, but she's an excellent content creator, and she knows what she's talking about. So check this out, y'all. Wait, hold on. What are we doing here, Jason? Get it together.
Man accused of killing Charlie Kirk is trying to take the death penalty off the table, and his attorney's argument is one of the strangest but solid arguments you will ever hear in a capital case. So what's that argument? That Tyler Robinson was too good a shot to be a death penalty defendant. I'm not even remotely playing, so let me break this down for you. Hi, I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the Resident Legal Diva, and this is The Breakdown. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Legal AF for all things at the intersection of law and politics, and be sure to follow me at Resident Legal Diva on YouTube, Substack, and socials where I do deeper dives into these issues. So, reminder of the state of play. Tyler Robinson is charged with aggravated murder in the killing of Charlie Kirk at the Utah Valley University in September of 2025. As you may remember, Tyler Robinson allegedly shot him from a rooftop about 200 yards away in front of a huge crowd, right? Because remember, this was a huge rally. He's currently being held without bail. Prosecutors charged him with aggravated murder plus obstruction for hiding the weapon and all of that afterwards, and they're seeking the death penalty. And Tyler Robinson has not yet entered a plea. We've had the preliminary hearing, and we were waiting to see what Judge Graff would come back with. But here's the thing. When you look at death penalty in Utah, as well as in most states, okay, former prosecutor here, you don't get the death penalty by just proving the person's guilty of murder. In order to make that capital case stick, prosecutors have to prove at least one specific aggravating factor. So that is a circumstance under the law that takes an ordinary murder into death penalty territory. So think the murder of a child or somebody elderly, murder as connected to like a murder for hire type situation, that sort of thing. So in this case, the state is resting their entire death penalty theory on one aggravator, that Tyler Robinson, quote, knowingly created a great risk of death to someone other than Charlie Kirk. That's it. That's the only aggravator. That's the whole case. So if you knock that out, death penalty gone. Thanks for playing. So Robinson's attorneys, listen, they're not letting any grass grow under their feet. They are moving. So they filed this motion where they basically said, listen, the shooting didn't create a great risk of death to anyone else because the shooter hit the intended target. So one shot from a scoped, high-powered rifle from a rooftop.
I've never heard that argument before. That has got to be the categorically craziest argument I've ever heard. So because he hit the person, nobody else was in jeopardy. That is wild work. It's wild work. Now, mind you, I do want you to, just going to throw this out there. And I don't want to leave Melba like that. I love Melba. She's a really good content creator, by the way, and a very nice person. I do want to point out something. The defense attorneys are conceding that Charlie Kirk was shot. Not an exploding microphone, not intergalactic space lasers, or any of that other retardedness that have come from the retarded conspiracy theory community. I just want to say that real quick. Just want to make sure. They're already conceding that he was shot. It just seems interesting. And they seem to be conceding that he was shot with the weapon that we were referring to. Again, not another gun, not a space laser, not somebody from the multiverse or the pocket dimension. Just something to think about. Let's go.
And they're saying the evidence shows that the bullet traveled above, not through the crowd. So no one else was in the line of fire.
Nobody else was in danger. It's
and
crazy.
So in the messages that the prosecution has and is shared as part of discovery, there was no intent to harm anyone else other than Charlie Kirk. So
That's
The
crazy.
difference ends up being either A, life in prison, meaning no parole, no nothing, you leave in a pine box, that's how you leave prison, or death penalty, right? That's the big swing here, right? So, prosecution, of course, is like, thanks for playing now, right? Their whole theory is that the use of the high-powered rifle over a crowd of thousands from a sniper's perch is as close to the definition of creating a great risk of death. And they also pointed to that Robinson allegedly loaded 4 rounds in case he missed the first shot. So their framework is all about the concept of line of sight or zone of danger. So if you put people within the deadly path of your weapon, you've created the risk. Whether or not you hit them is not the issue. The fact is you place them at risk. So I'm totally geeking out over this because as a former prosecutor, like this is like, whoa. Like, first off, you gotta just let this argument breathe for a second, right?
This is crazy.
The defense's whole strongest card is that, yeah, my client was accurate, so like no one else was ever in danger. I mean, that feels like, ooh, like.
But aren't they conceding? I can't understand this. To me, this is another reason why we need to whittle down the laws in this regard, because all these different flavors of murder is murder. Like all these other flavors of it, I think we need to really look at those, because we have all these different flavors and nuances. That's why they're having this argument. But the idea that he was too good of a shot, so nobody else was in danger, is crazy work. He only took one shot, one deletion. He shouldn't get aggravated murder because nobody else was in jeopardy. That's crazy. So I was wondering this question, and I know that the weapon that he was using would not have been able to do that quickly. But if he had a weapon that could have squeezed off 2 shots instantaneously, if you will, 2 shots very quickly, would this be changed? And if both of those shots hit Charlie Kirk, would it change? Because now you got 2. Because it seems like because there's one bullet, they're saying, well, that bullet hit Charlie. Nobody else was in danger. But what if another shot went off and it missed Charlie, or both of the shots hit Charlie? Like, what would have happened if it were possible in that regard? This is such an odd argument that I think is creating all these other, like, well, what if scenarios, instead of like, sir, ma'am, this is crazy work. This is crazy. So this is what they're arguing, y'all.
Yeah, that feels like off, right?
I agree.
That we're using like a John Wick argument now. But here's the thing. Feels wrong is not the legal test, right? And legally, their argument is not a bad one, right? It's not frivolous. It passes the smell test, right? Because the reality is Utah has no real case law explaining, interpreting, defining this great risk of death language. And there are only a couple decisions, and a lot of that is really focused on whether or not the defendant placed someone in that zone of danger. And the most recent time that a Utah court even got in the middle of this, the defendant had actually fired a prior shot that missed another person.
Right.
And that's very different from what we're dealing here, right?
Right.
Like, he didn't miss. So, thin as it may feel, the defense is standing on a very underdeveloped area of law that's like, okay. And again, that's great lawyering in terms of you exploit the parts of the law that is, basically uncharted territory, and you create new law. So for me, I'm like, ooh, okay, I got to see what's going to happen here, right? And then secondly, the other critical part of this is we're still in the probable cause stage. We're nowhere near trial. And so Judge Tony Graff is not at the point of looking at whether or not Robinson is guilty or not guilty. He's going to decide at or around September 1st, 2 things. First, is there enough evidence to send this case to trial at all? Which I think, based on what the prosecution has presented, that's going to happen. And then secondly, whether or not this is going to be a death penalty case. And again, that is a lower bar than what the jury actually has to decide. So there's a strong chance that I think the aggravator, the death penalty, is going to stand. I think that's going to hang in there. I don't think that the defense is going to win at this juncture. But it doesn't mean that this defense basically is going to go away. So
That's such a crazy
here's
argument.
where we are. In Utah, whether the state can even ask a jury to sentence a man to death is literally going to come down to marksmanship and geometry, where a single bullet traveled and who was standing where. That's one statutory factor, one judge, one probable cause ruling that's coming at or about September 1st. And everything about whether or not this is going to be a death penalty case rides on that one day. So that's the part of like the criminal justice system that never makes the headlines. So before we even get to did he do it, there's this whole like quiet technical drama fight about how much the state is even allowed to seek or what they're even going to be able to present. And right here, that fight, that's the whole game right there. So stay tuned, because once we learn what happens on September 1st, trust and believe, I'll be back to let y'all know what happens next. Sound off in the comments if you have any questions on this case
is such a wild
in
one.
terms of the procedural stuff that we're dealing with right now and all of that, because again, this is my jam. I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the Resident Legal Diva, and this was The Breakdown. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep demanding justice. Take care.
In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we
All right. Shout out to Melba. I appreciate her. She's always fun. I had never heard that argument that basically, look, nobody else was in jeopardy because my client squeezed the trigger and one projectile hit the target and it was done. That is crazy work. That is crazy. But it's interesting that they're basically conceding that he did it. So we're no longer in the I got to prove that he did it phase. We're now in the phase of, yeah, he did it, but nobody else was really in jeopardy. So he just needs life in prison, which is crazy work. I'm wondering, I believe he deserves the death penalty. But I wonder if they took the death penalty down, or if they're arguing if he get rid of the death penalty, will he just come in and say, I'm guilty, and throw me in the Gray Bar Hotel? That's what I'm wondering is going to happen. I agree. I think there's tons of people that could have been hit, but I think they're arguing is that there was only one person was hit. I don't know. I don't understand this argument. I really don't get it. I don't get it. Like, how are you making this argument? But I'm going to argue that Deb is amazing. Shout out to Deb. She said this. She said, John, thank you for the 5. John 14:27b. Let not your heart be troubled. Neither let it be afraid. Good night to the best chat on the internet. Thank you so much for that. And I appreciate the encouragement. Deb, appreciate you. It's late over in Australia because you all are in the future. So it's already like Tuesday almost. Yeah. If you're in Australia, it's already in the future. So thank you so much for that. I don't understand that argument, but I would like to hear it. Maybe if Nick or Beard Lawyer or somebody else can explain it, I would love to hear. Who knows? Maybe they might prevail, and then everybody's talking about it. But I would love to hear how they square that peg. That's just a wild argument for sure. Shout out to the best live chat on the interweb. I appreciate all of y'all. All right. I got 2 more things I want to talk about. I got one that's like total lighthearted, kiki haha. We're gonna have a good laugh at it. But then I got one that's I got to talk about this one and get this off my chest. So, an issue that I've come across here in this, I think Michael Knowles called it the Charlie Kirk death industry, is that in order to keep the thing going, people have had to just come up with whole new theories, whole entire new ideas that are not rooted in reality or anything that we know of. And I do remember, and I'm going to have to find the video of me saying it, that these conspiracy troglodytes are ultimately going to turn Charlie Kirk into the villain. I said that before. They're going to turn, they already got the idea, crafted the idea that Charlie Kirk was duplicitous, that he was not a genuine Christian, all that kind of stuff like that. They've been already seeding it out there. And sadly, those weeds have been festering. Those weeds have been germinating for a minute. And we're going to watch somebody who basically is theorizing that Charlie Kirk was a criminal, an actual criminal. It's crazy work. What'd you say? Oh, mercy. Oh, goodness. What did Mindy find? All right, I'll check it out after we get done with this. So I want to talk about Baron Coleman. And one of the things that he does, and this is very, very dishonest. This is a very dishonest methodology that he has. As a former school teacher, I can tell you emphatically that there are really bad questions. There are really bad questions. There are. Not every question is good. I know we as parents, like, oh no, all questions are good. Please ask your questions, little Johnny, little Sally. I do understand that. However, not all questions are good. And I'll give you an example. If, for example, I'm telling my students, hey, boys and girls, it is now time for spelling. Please get out your spelling book. Somebody shoots their hand up. Mr. Whitaker, are we about to do spelling? Well, that's not a good question because I literally just told you that. That's not a good question. Okay, that's not a good question at all. So the idea that all questions are valid is not good. But there's also another one. That was more, that was not really nefarious. That was just a kid being a kid. But what we see in the adult version of that is throwing out ideas that have no basis or grounding whatsoever and throwing it out as a possibility. It's possible. It's possible. I'm not saying that he did, but it could have. And that's being dishonest. It's really spreading rumors and gossip. So for Baron Coleman, what we're going to watch here, him theorizing that Charlie Kirk was a possible criminal is crazy, diabolical work. Let me real quick. Let's pull this in. And again, I give nothing to Baron Coleman. I think he's a sad man. It's a sad dude. Shout out to Britta. No soup for Knowles. Baron Coleman is now priming his audience to believe that Charlie Kirk may have been a criminal, and that if it turns out that he was talking bad about Candace while calling her a friend, they should question everything else about him, including his Christianity. I told y'all, the goal is to make Charlie Kirk, what's going to end up happening, Charlie Kirk is going to become the enemy. They're going to be dancing on his grave, allegedly, and because he was saying bad things about Candace. But remember, he wasn't saying bad things about Candace as a friend. He had cut ties with Candace some time ago, and therein is the problem. Before we do this, I want to jump into these comments real quick. Okay, here it is. Shout out to Britta right here. This is what I want you to listen to. While we watch this, listen for these. Okay, listen to what she says. Because Baron does this a lot. Allegedly, in my opinion, it feels off. My gut tells me. I could be wrong. Everybody sees. All right. That's what he does. And you see it. He literally has allegedly on his wall behind him. And I guarantee you he points to that. I guarantee he uses that. And says, oh, well, see, there's allegedly. That's what I'm. Blah, 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 blah. And it's a sad state because this guy professes to be a Christian. And this is despicable behavior. So anyway, let's just pull it up. Let's go. Green hearts in the chat where you can hear.
I'm not two-faced, and I don't think Charlie was either. I really don't. But if he was, if they want that to be his legacy, that he's just a total unadulterated liar and misleads people, okay, well, if the problem with a liar, if you catch them lying on that issue, if you catch Charlie Kirk lying on whether or not he likes Candace Owens, or was he just saying that publicly so she wouldn't attack him so he could accumulate more power, wealth, and influence? Well, if that's the case, what else was he lying about? Was he lying about his Christian faith? Was he lying about his marriage? Was he lying about his friendships? Was he lying about whether or not he was breaking the law? Was he lying? What, does that give us some insight onto why Charlie Kirk was crying the night Donald Trump won? Because I'm very weirded out by that, if I'm being honest. I'm very weirded out by the fact that he was crying tears of joy when Donald Trump won election in 2024, and when he was confronted at an event under the tent. The guy didn't shoot him. He asked him a question. But when he was confronted on the event, under the tent, one of the professors where he was, he said, hey, why did you cry that night? And he said, because I was told I was going to go to prison if Donald Trump left, and lost. And I was going to go to prison for a very long time. Well, did you do anything wrong? Well, if we can't believe what he says about Candace Owens in public, how can we believe what he says about whether he was committing crimes?
Wow. 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 I actually didn't. I watched it one time through, but you know, when you watch it again, you hear it differently. I might have to do that again, y'all, because I heard some stuff there that is crazy work. That is some crazy work. Yo, Baron Coleman, man. Y'all pray for Baron Coleman, man. That dude is lost. What he's doing right here is some grade A diabolical behavior right here. This is some wicked behavior. I told y'all they were going to make Charlie Kirk the enemy. I knew it. And look at what they're doing. That is wild work. Oh, that's some grade A. This is some Olympic level, weapons grade projection right here. This is absolutely insane. Check this out.
I'm not two-faced, and I don't think Charlie was either. I really don't. But if he was, if they want that to be his legacy, that he's just a total unadulterated liar and misleads people, okay, well, if the problem with a liar, if you catch them lying on that issue, if you catch Charlie Kirk lying on whether or not he likes Candace Owens, or was he just saying that publicly so she wouldn't attack him so he could accumulate more power, wealth, and influence? Well, if that's the case, what else was he lying about? Was he lying about his Christian faith? Was he lying about his marriage? Was he lying about his friendships? Was he lying about whether or not he was breaking the law? Was he lying? What does that give us some insight onto why Charlie Kirk was crying the night Donald Trump won? Because I'm very weirded out by that, if I'm being honest. I'm very weirded out by the fact that he was crying tears of joy when Donald Trump won election in 2024, and when he was confronted at an event under the tent. The guy didn't shoot him. He asked him a question. But when he was confronted on the event, under the tent, one of the professors where he was, he said, hey, why did you cry that night? And he said, because I was told I was going to go to prison if Donald Trump left, and lost. And I was going to go to prison for a very long time. Well, did you do anything wrong? Well, if we can't believe what he says about Candace Owens in public, how can we believe what he says about whether he was committing crimes?
Wow. Wow. That's some serious stuff right there. That is some grade A. That's some crazy work. So now Charlie Kirk is a criminal. And what is he doing? He's throwing out this idea because he's going to say, oh, all I was doing was theorizing. All I was doing was just asking questions. All I was doing was throwing out ideas. And he, again, yeah, this is some diabolical work, y'all. I'm just mad how much I'm hearing I don't like hearing Baron Coleman. So now I had to hear him 3 times, and I'm very upset about the fact that I'm hearing more of this foolishness. And he's just outright lying. He's just outright there. And he knows that his audience doesn't know the full context of what he's talking about Charlie Kirk crying the night Trump was elected, what he was saying under the tent. He knows that they don't know fullness of that. What he wants to do, however, is try to drag down the fact that Andrew Wilson and Andrew Colvett have been destroying Candace and Baron Coleman's dumb, stupid, retarded theories with real, actual evidence. So instead of having real evidence to what he's saying, he wants to projection max saying, I got to give you that one. I got to give you that one for sure. He projection maxing. So, I mean, that is so diabolical. That's evil, man. I don't care what nobody say. My name is Jason, dearwokec@gmail.com, jwitt@jwitt.com. That's evil. I'm sorry. There's no other way around it. I know, man, there's no way around it. Baron Coleman, that's evil what you're doing. As somebody who professes to be in the body of Christ, for you to behave in that manner, it shows that you're not in the body of Christ. That's just, there's no way around that. To theorize and hypothesize and throw somebody into the mix like that, he is completely, totally absent. Not because I say it, but Scripture completely is void of any justification for what he's doing. What is this? Did you make the video yet? And what was you doing in the group of 92? Shoot me an email. You can. Matter of fact, how about this one? Because I got time today. I'll answer your questions. Come right here. Come on the screen, Anthony, and there you go. Here's the link. Hit the link. Turn your camera on. No profanity. Stay on topic, and I'll answer your questions. Oh, I'm waiting for you to actually, you have to, I'm asking you to, come on. Yeah, we're going to take a little station break and allow you an opportunity. We'll take a quick little, station break. Let's pull up I got something for you. Because I want you to come on, because I want to answer this question for you, because you brought it up. So therefore, you have a question. So let's give you a quick little second.
Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor step foot on the path of sinners, nor sit in the seat of mockers. But his delight's in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He's like a tree planted by streams of water, yielding its fruit in season, whose leaf does not wither, and who prospers in all he does. Not so the wicked, for they're like chaff driven off by the wind. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord guards the path of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish.
All right, let's see where you at, my brother. Where you at? All right, so what'd you say here? No, Cam, just answer when you are going to make the video of all the lies. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I want you to come on camera. So that's one of the things is when somebody gets my attention and I make the offer for you to come on camera, I'm actually saying, come on camera. Like I'm not actually, it's kind of like you're being told, if you will. So actually I don't know what the lies are. I want to clear up any confusion that you have. So you're big enough to be in the comment section, which is perfectly fine. I want to answer your questions and give you an opportunity to double ask or ask, developmental questions and all that kind of stuff like that. I'm willing to answer your questions. So you would get your own special segment as you're getting right here, Anthony. So be a man, click the link, and let's talk it out. Because I want to answer your question. Because I don't know, like, what's the secret cabal, the group of 92? So what? And what's your point? Y'all put Tony in the chat. Let Tony know we want Tony to come up in here. Get your beard bonnet off. Take your, get your mascara off, and let's make this happen. You don't have one. Okay, so here it is. This is what's going to happen. When people do that kind of stuff, I don't like when they come on my channel and bring foolishness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove you from the channel. So I'm going to remove you now. Email management jwitt@jwitt.com, and we will bring you back on. So at the current moment, I'm going to remove you from the channel because I don't need that. So you were given an opportunity to get your questions answered. If you want to get your questions answered, I'm going to answer your questions. I asked you to come on the camera to do so. You chose not to, so now you're no longer in the chat. So if you won't mind, everybody, say goodbye to Tony. And if you want to, if you're like, oh man, I was unduly, I was oppressed. I was oppressed. Then you just go ahead and email management, jwitt@jwitt.com, and we'll get you on and we'll work it out. But at the current moment, Tony, because you can be over here slick with the mouth in my comment section, saying dumb, stupid, and retarded stuff in my comment section, I asked you to come on so we can get your questions answered. You chose not to come. So therefore, you don't want to be here. It's very simple. It's very simple. Extremely easy. Barely an inconvenience. Email management if you want to come back. Goodbye. All right. Here's the last one. Y'all, this one's meant to be fun. So we are no longer going to be serious. We're going to say goodbye to Tony. Let me check my troll real quick in the troll comments. Oh, my troll is back. Okay, my troll is saying something else. So hold on, y'all. Let me pull this in here. Shout out, because somebody has actually commented to the troll, and then the troll is giving more feedback. Y'all, don't be this down bad. I'm serious. I'm 100% serious. Don't be this down bad. All right, so let me pull this in real quick. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Let's go. Okay, so earlier I was reading the Dusty comments, so I'm going to keep it going. Shout out to Giselle. She said, I cannot imagine being filled with so much hate. Your heart must be black. I hope that you come to know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Grace and peace. I'll pray for your salvation. And so this person comes back, Giselle, save it, sis. I'm 70. I know your hypocrisy. And JWitt podcast, I expect a lot more back and forth genocidal Israeli stooge. And whatever, what we're talking about is this is on last night's prayer. Like last night, I had a stream with some great content creators praying for Erica Kurt and women in general. So it was the stream last night, the prayer for Erica Kurt. And this is what this person, when I say that these people love Israel, these people worship Israel, there was not one word. Look at the transcript, pull up the transcript. You'll not find the word Israel or Zionist, Bibi, dreidel. You won't find any references to Israel last night in that stream at all. But this person woke up this morning in the year of our Lord using his or her free will to talk about Israel. Why? Because he loves Israel. They worship Israel. They do. That's the thing I don't think people realize. These people worship Israel more than people who live in Israel. They love Israel more than Israelites love Israel. Because that's all they talk about. There's no reason to be talking about Israel. We were praying for Erica. Now, maybe another video. Like if you picked a different video, maybe that would have made sense. But we're literally praying for somebody here in the United States. As far as I know, Erica lives here in the States. And we were also talked a little tacitly about mothers in general and women in general. And we were talking about women in the States. Everybody that was on the prayer call was here in the United States. How did you bring Israel into this? Because you love Israel. That's the thing. You love it. I mean, Israel is safe because y'all clowns love it so much. Y'all love Israel. Y'all really do. Just admit it. This person loves Israel, man. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this insight and wisdom. Imagine God allowed you to live 70 years and you're here spouting this high grade Army certified foolishness, stunning use of free will. All right, y'all, let me stop. Let me stop. These people, man, these people love Israel, bro. You know what, man? Black folk wish y'all loved us like this. Like, I wish y'all loved black folk like y'all love Israel. Bald men wish you. I wish you love bald men like y'all love Israel, for real. Because y'all is crazy, man. Y'all wild, man. Yeah, y'all love for them is crazy work, man. I really do. I really wish y'all loved us like this, man. I mean, the body of Christ could take notes, man. Body of Christ take notes. Like, these people love Israel, which again, Israel is important. I'm not making light of that. But my goodness in the morning, man. Good night. Y'all love that place, man. And then you hide your love in your quote unquote disdain for it. That's some duplicitous double standard I ain't never seen before in my life. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. They got a smooth brain, like a glass marble. Okay, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Have you ever, and we're shifting gears now. We're going to shift. Okay. Have you ever got caught up in collecting something as part of a trend? In the chat, tell the truth. Have you ever got caught up in collecting something because of a trend? So like a good trend, a lot of people, and they're Yetis, right? I don't know. Yetis are probably not that cool anymore. But we have a lot of them here at Whitaker Park. Beanie Babies. Okay, right. They're part of a trend. It really, everybody was doing it, so everybody else started doing it, right? Stanley Cups, that's a big one. And there's a lot of stuff. So this young lady is talking about how people get caught up in collectivism because of trends. Pokemon cards. See, yeah. And I don't know, Pokemon cards might actually fall into a different category, kind of like stamps and coin collecting. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, the Beanie Babies were big. Lego sets. I like Legos, though. Legos have a utility, though. I'm not willing to throw away Legos like that. I think Legos have a utility. You can actually build something with them. But like these things right here, the Funko Pops, that you just got the little doll or whatever it is, whatever that thing is. To me, I don't know if that's a shot glasses from places that you travel. This is interesting. We got President Not Perfect. He's in his feelings. He said, "Look, leave my Pokemon cards alone. Don't be talking about my cards." Wait, how are you collecting Easy Bake Ovens? Are you for real? No way. Okay. See, some of these things are not necessarily trends. They're just things that you do. Like, for example, I understand people who collect shot glasses and magnets and postcards from places that they traveled. I mean, that makes sense. We're going to look at this one and we'll see if we agree, because this is meant to be fun. So this is not to get like a full on scrap going on and shroom going on in the live chat. But this young lady is dissecting the whole process of people collecting things because of trends and basically a level of consumerism. So let's bring it in. The link is down in the description. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear it. Let's go. Look at that. I messed that up.
Where are your Labubis now? Or Sonny Angels? Or your Rode lip gloss phone case? Do you still wear butter yellow? And have you put this viral skirt on Vinted yet? In this episode of Under the Influence, we are looking at my most viral post, exploring the hate comments, and figuring out, or trying to figure out, why people took this so personally. I'm Em, and I'm extremely passionate about getting us all to think more critically when we engage with media online, especially when it comes to influencer culture. If you're interested in being de-influenced daily, you're more than welcome to join my free newsletter, Under the Influence, on Substack, or follow me on Instagram and all the other platforms as Ordinary M. I was not expecting this post to go anywhere near as viral as it did. It got over 8 million views.
Wow.
And it all started because I was on the tube late last year on my way to see a friend, and a woman opposite me had a bag charm on her bag. Wasn't a Labubu, wasn't anything I'd recognize, but bag charm nonetheless. And it got me wondering, where are all the Labubus that people bought over the summer in the beginning of the year? Where are they now? Because I don't see them out and about. Not that I ever really did in comparison to how much I saw them online. But where are they? So I typed, "Where are your Labubus now?" into my notes app. And a couple of days later, I made this post making use of other examples of things that kind of trend for a while and then disappear off the face of the earth, such as the viral polka dot skirt, Stanley water bottles, and then overtaken by Owala water bottles, a very specific style of sunglasses we saw last summer, and the color butter yellow. For those who aren't chronically online, which I love that for you, what is the Labubu era? The Labubu era refers to the massive global cultural and commercial phenomenon surrounding Labubu, a mischievous, sharp-toothed, furry monster character created by artist Kasing Lung and commercialized by Beijing-based collectible toy giant Pop Mart. Originally launched in 2015 as part of a Nordic folklore-inspired art book series called The Monsters, the vinyl-faced plush collectibles exploded into mainstream pop culture dominance around 2024 after being heavily endorsed by K-pop star Lisa of Blackpink and other celebrities like Rihanna and Kim Kardashian. So as with most things that are trending, how they come to be is it's a combination of many things, of timing, of the culture, of the internet at the time, as well as someone doing it who has enough social currency. It is kind of like an outlier when I talk about trending items. I don't think comparable to like the polka dot skirt I mentioned, or like the sunglasses. Those are in different realms compared to the Labubu, which is just pretty out there. Many people agreed with the sentiment of my post because it has 600,000 likes. Many people, thankfully, realized that it wasn't actually about the Labubus or the shoes, but rather social commentary on how disposable everything has become to us. Basically, our consumption habits and how we very rarely question them. I wanted us to ask ourselves after swiping through this post, when last did I even think about my consumption habits? Like, am I even in control of them? Or do we just buy whatever is trending? And to what end? Don't know why I did it at the time, but before I posted it, I added, warning, this post might feel personal. And apparently it really did feel personal to a lot of you. Some of the main hate comments, I'll call them hate comments, but this is the degree of hate comments I think I receive online. So they're my hate comments, okay? And most of them were criticizing the fact that I only used examples related to women. And before I get into the real meat and reading out some of those comments, I just want to acknowledge and to make everyone aware that on my Instagram, where I posted this, my following is 98% women, which I think is a real flex. I'm a woman. The content I consume is probably 99% made by women and for women. I have the experience of growing up as a woman and being sold stuff to as a woman. My aim...
Okay, so and I'm going to stop for a second just because she's about to explain why what she's talking about wasn't geared at or wasn't aimed at women, because everybody's going to say, well, what about men and blah, blah, blah? What about men and blah, blah, blah? Matter of fact, the other day, I was out walking and there's a house near my house and I knew the guy had a lot of cars, but the gentleman he has a huge garage that he built adjacent to his home. And well, it's not huge, but the amount of cars in there was amazing. So I was out walking, the dude was there and I just happened to talk like, man, I see this car right here you're driving, blah, blah, blah. We started talking and he let me into the garage. I was stunned. He had 50 cars in there. When he said it, I'm like, there's no way you have 50 cars in here. When he let me walk in, I'm like, you only have 50 cars in here. It was amazing. So he collects cars. He flips them. He buys them. He sells them. Some he keeps, blah, 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 blah. And it's amazing. So this is different though. So what she's talking about is consumerism that doesn't have any form of utility and is usually tied to a trend. Because there was no cars in that man's garage that were trendy, right? And we'll talk about some other things as well, because I'm guilty. I've collected a lot of things too that are probably part of trends as well. So let's go.
With this page and all my platforms and everything I do is to help people stop over-consuming, question their consumption habits, be a better consumer, think about the environment, blah, blah, blah. But mainly for women, because that's who I relate to. I'm not an unbiased news reporter. I'm not the BBC or, I'm not trying to be neutral. I do have opinions and I'm going to share them. And it's normally from a place of personal experience because this is my page. Okay. Proceeds to show only female overconsumption with a clown face. That had 33,000 likes on that comment. Let's have a look at the juicy question most of these comments were getting at. Are women the only ones overconsuming? The short answer is no, of course not. Of course men overconsume. In many ways, it looks similar to the way women consume online, like hauls of clothing. But from my experience, I have to do a lot more digging online to find examples and videos of men doing this. Maybe it's because of my algorithm, or maybe it's because there are actually less examples of men overconsuming online, in the same way we see women do it. And that would make total sense. The most obvious thing to me is that there are far more items for women to overconsume. There are far more items catered to women to buy, and therefore for them to overconsume. Skincare, makeup, hair tools, lip gloss. These are the things that are usually cheap enough that they can be bought often and replaced often. There are also more problems for women to fix. I mean, men have 5-in-1 shampoo.
That's correct.
Whereas women will have 5 different products that all do the same thing. There's a market there. Do you see where I'm going? Historically,
totally
women were also in charge of the
All right, so there's a skincare brand that makes products for men and for women. And I was at the beauty supply store with President Firstborn when she was here. And I was walking down the little aisle that they have for men's stuff. And I saw this, the body wash, and I was like, oh, let me grab this. And I picked it up, and I'm like, wow, this looks just like my wife's shampoo like this. But it's like a 5-in-1. So I get home, and in fact, my wife does have the same product, the same company's shampoo, but the bottle looks exactly the same. But one is men's 5-in-1, and it smells, like tree bark and outdoors. And the other one, I'm like, that is hilarious, man. Like, I don't even think they even tried. Like, literally, they just put stamp man on there and kept it moving. Like, that is so wild. So she's 100% correct. Men don't have a lot of options when it comes to skincare and such like that, whereas women have a plethora, unlimited amount. And I think that's good, because I think your skin is more important than mine. I'm sorry.
Household spending. They were the spenders, they were the consumers. They are the ones who have been advertised to more than anyone else for decades, because they are the ones controlling the card. Now, what I don't want to do when I talk about overconsumption and consumerism online is add to the already rife stereotypes that women are bad with money. We've seen it in the movies and the media, how girls just love to shop. There is so much propaganda around how shopping is a hobby for girls. Women maxing out their credit cards. But there are actually studies on how women and men spend around the same amount per year, just on different stuff. And I think I also remember reading a study on how women are better savers and contribute to their pension more, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not going to get into that specifically. I might do a deep dive in another video, so subscribe if you don't want to miss that. I hate this comment, and I have seen, don't want to say thousands, hundreds of comments like this. What about guys who hoard sneakers or Pokemon cards?
There we go.
Guys overconsume also. It's just okay when they do it. Someone else said, where's all the predominantly male overconsumption trends? Action figures, collectibles, cards, sneakers. 22,000 likes on that comment. A woman buying things she likes is overconsumption. A man doing the same is considered a collectionist. Okay, woman clipping another woman. What happened to men overconsumption? I understand the vision with these hate comments, okay, or these comments and this commentary. I get it, but it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me because there is no leg to stand on when you really get into the difference between overconsumption and collectibles or being a collectionist. I don't know, having a collection as your hobby. So let's just break that down, okay? What is collecting, you may ask, or I asked Wikipedia anyway, and it gave me this definition. The hobby of collecting includes seeking, locating, acquiring, organizing, cataloging, displaying, storing, and maintaining items that are of an interest to an individual collector. Collector, that's the word. I was in an antique store a couple of months ago, and this little boy came in with his mom. He was around like 10, and he went straight to the front where all the coins were. He was looking at all of them. He was so intrigued. He was so interested in all of them. The owner of the store was also a coin collector, and I basically just heard him exchanging some advice on how to collect coins, what he would recommend someone, at 10 years old do. And he was basically saying, stick to a certain genre, certain era, decades, or country, blah, 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 blah. Collecting is far more intentional than overconsumption. Collecting is also often, but not always, things that have already been made. They already exist. And for the most part,
And I'm not saying that women don't collect things.
Collecting them
But,
and cataloging and displaying.
I'm not saying that women don't collect things, but I do think we might have, especially like, let's look at those Labubu things, right? People weren't collecting those to have them indefinitely, right? They were just getting them because it was a trend. Same thing with the Stanley water bottles. It was a trend. And now they're no longer in vogue. You can go to Goodwill and find them on the racks, right? But you would buy a long box of comic books, one, because you want to read them, but two, because you appreciate them and you see value in them in the long term. You would buy a classic car because it brings you some nostalgia because it's the car that your granddad had, but you also see that there's value, that there's a value to this vehicle. And I can take it to shows and people will pay to use it in rap videos or whatever. So I do think there's something different. I'm not saying that every collector, well, let me say this. Hoarding is a whole nother thing. So we're not even talking about hoarding. But every collector, every trend can lead to a collection, but not every collection is a part of a trend. Like, for example, I know everybody knows somebody that collects Coca-Cola memorabilia, right? They have a whole basement, a whole garage full of memorabilia of Coca-Cola. That's not a trend. They see some value in that and they like it. Or they collect, highway signs, or they collect baseball caps or whatever like that. They see a value in it and it's not trendy. Here's my confession. So let me fess up, y'all. I have told you all before that I'm a brand person. If I like your brand, I go completely crazy about it. So y'all know, I am a huge Adidas fan, right? Many of you all don't know, however, there is something that I actually collect that's more than Adidas. I don't think anybody knows this. Y'all might not know this. In the chat, do y'all know this? There is something else that I collect that I have more of than even Adidas. And I don't know. Star Wars. No, it's a utility item. So it's something I wear. I do have a lot of baseball caps, but no, that's not it. It's Star Wars. It's crazy. I do have a lot of sweaters, but I still have more of this than any of that. Yeah, like Spider-Man. But that's not a trend. I think that's fair to say that you collect those. I do have a lot of hoodies, though. I'm waiting for a hoodie season to come. Y'all don't know this. I collect Lululemon attire. I am a fan of Lululemon. When I was a coach at my CrossFit gym, by the way, today at 12 o'clock, me and my coach from the gym are going to have a conversation on my second channel about CrossFit today. But when I was a coach at Lululemon, when I was a coach at CrossFit, we had a relationship with Lululemon that we got a very good discount. And I bought a lot of it. I have a lot of Lululemon clothing from shirts to underwear to socks to tons of shorts, polos, dress pants, sweatpants, jackets. I got a lot. I really do. It is embarrassing how much Lululemon clothing I have. But that's not a collection. I don't see any utility in that. I realized that it was trendy at one time, but I still love it, and it fits well. I got some shorts on right now, but I have a lot of it. I have more Lululemon than I have hoodies or Adidas combined. I love them. I ain't gonna even lie, and I will wear them joints forever until they fall apart. So anyway, but whenever I found them on sale, I would do it. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I got a lot of it. But anyway, so I can understand. It was trendy then. All of us coaches, everybody was in the Lululemon at that time. I don't know what they're wearing now because I still wear my Lululemon. When it gets cold, I'll pull out my Lululemon tights. I got tons of those. I got tons of them. It's embarrassing how much I have. So anyway, but back to my point. So I understand collections and being useful. So I don't think I fall in that trend or collector category because I use all of my stuff. I wear it. I wear all my Adidas. And it's such like that. I got Lululemon socks on. That's crazy. What are Lululemon socks? Anyway, I just think that's so interesting. So let's finish this up because this is I'm sure going to spark a good conversation. Let's go.
And organizing, blah, 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 is a lifelong endeavor. We stay interested in similar things and we really take care with them. You don't collect skincare. It goes off. And hoarding them in your bathroom cabinet is not displaying them in any nice particular way. You don't collect shoes, you hoard them when they were made to be used and walked in. No one was collecting Labubus or Sonny Angels. You were over-consuming them for 6 months. That's what was happening. And where are they now? If you were collecting them, so no, I'm not going to ask. If you were collecting them, I wasn't talking to you. People who are over-consuming them, when I say where are they now, I genuinely mean, are they displayed somewhere lovely in your home?
Well, I would still say, like, you might still have collected something, like back in the day when Happy Meals used to come with a toy. You might have collected all of the toys, but where did they go? Did you keep them? Did you preserve them, categorize them, put them in some kind of safe box so that you could pass them on to the next generation? No, they're in the garbage. So I do think the longevity of the collection will let you know whether or not you're a collectivist, a collectionist, or if you're just a trend person. So like we rock, my family rocks with Stanley. So we have a lot of Stanley cups in our house and we're fine with it. Like I said, Stanley's not that cool now. People have moved on to other things. Okay, we still rock with our Stanleys and our Yetis. We get down with them. We're fine with those. So I understand they got other cool water bottles now, but I'm okay. We're still rocking with them. We're not moving. So I think the trend becomes a collection based upon its longevity. If Labubu's only lasted 6 months and you still messing with them a year and a half later, it's very possible you're a collectionist. You're a collection. But if you, Garfield glasses, you remember when they used to have those in the Happy Meals? But if you gave up on it 6 months, as soon as the trend ended, I think you're just a trend. Like me and my Lululemon. I'm still rocking with Lululemon. They're not that cool anymore, but I love them. Okay, let's go.
Your car, in a cupboard, I don't know. Or have you already dropped them off at the nearest charity shop? I think a lot of people were projecting onto me. It's the internet, and thought they had to come and defend why they love their Labubus or Sonny Angels and telling me where they are, putting pictures of them hanging in their car or stuck somewhere or proudly on display. And if that was you, I wasn't talking to you, but thank you for showing us that, of course, people were lovers of Labubus or creatures, toys, bag charms, anything like that, similar to Labubus, obviously way before they became a trend. But the difference is you loved them before they were trending. That's not what I was talking about. I thought I wasn't maybe clear enough, so I posted a more updated, current version quite recently. It also went viral. And people misunderstood me again. I added in a page in the hopes that people wouldn't comment without getting to the end, but this is the internet. Buying trending items isn't inherently bad. treating everything like a trend, though, is. And that was kind of my point for both of these posts. But I clearly hit a nerve. And I'm really wondering why people still, even with reading that, felt like they had to defend themselves in the comments. And I am actually taking these defensive comments in like the bigger picture as a win. And I'll tell you why. Are we making overconsumption embarrassing again? Because I hope so. This really is my goal for everything, is that we are no longer embarrassed about going thrifting, but rather embarrassed about buying a whole new wardrobe for a new season and just discarding last year's clothes. It shouldn't be embarrassing to outfit repeat. It should be embarrassing to own 15 water bottles. And I really, really want us to keep moving in this direction. Even if people are getting triggered by it, it's because they know that they don't need to be buying and keeping up with all these trends all the time. We can't, as a society, keep allowing this to be socially acceptable behavior. It's ruining the planet and also really bad for us mentally and financially. So how do we make overconsumption embarrassing again, you may ask? Don't engage with the hauls. Just swipe. I know it's riveting to see. I know it's shocking. I know it's enraging. I know sometimes we want to watch it because we're so angry and we just want to be angry at something. Or we are so sad and bleak and our lives feel unfulfilling and we just want to watch something so far removed from us. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It's not going to make you feel better. We all know that. It's not going to make you feel better. It's going to give you existential dread at worst. So just scroll on. Press uninterested. Unfollow. Unfollow. I think if people stop getting engagement on this type of content, they will do it less. And if they see, even if they don't see that people aren't following them, for your own mental health, unfollow. Unfollow when you see people acting like this online and trying to convince you that overconsumption is normal or socially acceptable. And then one I don't do often because I'm a bit of a wimp, and I guess I'd rather just wait a while and then collate some research and make a social commentary post on it rather than calling it out in the comments. We do need to be brave and stand up for the planet and for other minorities in the world who ultimately have to deal with the consequences of our actions, pick up our textile waste, are the ones in the factories working stupid hours in unsafe conditions, blah, 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 the rest of it. And be brave for them and say, hey, listen, guys, think about the children, think about people in decades' time that have to shift through all of our shit. Because we are producing millions of items of clothing every single year. We have enough clothes on the planet right now to clothe like the next 6 generations of people. But we will still produce even more next year and more next year unless we all just get a grip and say something about it. So if you want to be really nice and just be like, hey, I think maybe DMing is a bit better than that. And just saying, hey, I just don't really think we need to be promoting this type of consumption. And ultimately the point I was making with this post is the slide I added, which was buying something that is trending isn't inherently bad, but treating everything like a trend is. With anything, with a trend, it's been around before. It's all circular. Trends come and go. They get trudged up from the bottom and reused again and just packaged differently. Everything that is going to trend in the next year has already existed at some point or the other or in some other type of form. So I'm not coming after ballerina flats. You know, I was wearing ballerina flats when I was 8. I do love ballerina flats. And sometimes seeing it through a trend helps you with your personal style. And that's when we should buy it. I bought ballerina flats last year because it was socially acceptable to do so. And I remembered that I do actually like them. And I still wear them this summer when they aren't a trend. And I'll wear them next summer. They're now part of my personal style. Same goes with things that bring you joy. I'm not trying to gatekeep joy. If a Labubu brings you so much joy, if a Sonny Angel brings you so much joy, buy it. Like, that's fine. Just don't discard it in 3 months' time. That's the point of what I'm saying. You can buy trending stuff if it's really what you love. A good way to figure out if you really love something is to wait. Wait a couple of months. It'll be on Vinted. It'll be on Depop. It'll be in the charity shops. And then when it's discounted, whoopee. Or maybe you don't even like it anymore and you shouldn't have bought it in the first place. So good thing you didn't. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and I'd love to see you in the next video. Bye.
Okay, I just thought that was a good way to end it because I thought I was kind of going back like, am I a collectionist or do I follow trends? Am I buying it only because it's a trend or what? So when I go to the thrift store, if I run across a Yeti, I might grab it. If I run across a Lululemon that rocks with me, I'm going to grab it. But I use it, though. It's not like I don't collect anything. I do collect books. Let me take that back. I do collect books. Now I look over here. Oh, my gosh, I'm guilty of that. But I've read them all. And I'm in the process of reading this book right now. So here's my book because I'm going to be teaching Sunday school in a couple of weeks. So we're reading this book in adult Sunday school. So I'll tell you all about that too. But I don't know. So anyway, I just thought that was a good way to end it. I found that video fascinating. I did leave the link to it down in the description, so you can definitely check it out and give your 2 cents, of course. Support good content creators. I try to give y'all content creators that I believe you should continue to support. So please check them out. I do want to say thank you again to everybody who tapped in last night to the prayer for Erica Kirk. It was a lot of fun having Natalie and Tracy Martin, as well as a Biblical Worldview stop through as well. It was super great to have them. We are going to do that more regularly because people reached out to me like, why didn't I get an invitation? Okay. We will do it again. So have no fear. Just going to give you a heads up. It will be soon. But yeah, I am a bibliholic. Absolutely. I'm guilty of charge. Guilty as charged. I did see the video. It is long, Patriot. I hit your email back. So please understand. Shout out to Patriot Posse too. That was a very good video he sent. I don't want to tell y'all what it was because it's long. It's going to be this weekend. I'm going to tell you probably be Friday or Saturday because it looks like a good one from the little bit that I was able to ascertain from the title and looking over it. So have no fear. I got you. I do want to say thanks again to everybody who tapped in. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's been a good month. So I appreciate y'all watching videos, liking. Please hit that like button. Oh my gosh. Go through every video that you've watched on my channel and just make sure you hit the like button. Please, double please. Everybody does that. You would help your boy out a lot. But thank you again. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun this month, and I'm looking forward to doing this again. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I think we have a guest coming out tomorrow, don't we? No, we don't. I made that up. I just made that up out of whole cloth. But I do have a good show planned. So we got some good stuff this week, yeah. But thank you again, everybody. Appreciate you. Got a lot of folk already up in here. Thank you again. I think we hit we did it. We made it, y'all. All right, so what I'm going to do, oh, there she is, a Biblical Worldview. God bless you. Thank you so much, sister. So glad to have you on yesterday. Check out her channel, and she's doing some great work, and she's a maven at Substack. She's a Substack superstar. So please go check out A Biblical Worldview. Her newsletter is fantastic. I get it every day, and I think you'll enjoy it. Count It Joy. Count It All Joy t-shirt. That's a nice, I like that one actually. We have new t-shirts coming soon. So go to jwitt.com, make sure you bookmark it because do y'all know that my anniversary of my channel is September 11th? Well, guess what? Now you know. I like that shirt. Count It All Joy. I can see a design. I got a design in my head. How about this one? The Eclipse Truth. You got a design? Send it to me. jwitt@jwitt.com. I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit for it. I have a design in my mind. So I like that one. I like that. I can get with that. So anyway, over at jwitt.com, the new winter collection is coming out. We've been working on some new t-shirts that don't all just have jwitt.com on it or jwitt podcast. So stay tuned. They will be dropping very, very soon, like real soon. So thank y'all again for that. I like that one. I'm screenshotting it now so I can, when I get done, I have to go run an errand. But when I get back, I'll make sure to get at it. We'll talk in email. But everybody, again, thank you to everyone. I appreciate y'all. Again, Tracy and Natalie, as well as a Biblical Worldview, were very happy and felt very loved and appreciated by you all on yesterday during our prayer call. That was really cool, and I'm glad that you all were able to come through. Thank you so much. I've heard from other content creators that you all have been over there in their comment section, dropping green hearts and all that kind of great stuff. Keep it up, letting the other content creators know that we appreciate and respect and want to see other good content grown. If I'm trying my best to bring you, when I pull a video up and stuff like that, and I put the links in the description, they're usually content creators that I think we should continue to support. So I really do. I'm glad that y'all have done that, and let's keep doing that. Let's keep pushing and encouraging and elevating good content creators, and just putting away the noise, getting rid of the foolishness that we don't want to see. So thank y'all so much, all of y'all. What are y'all talking about? I appreciate you. What we're gonna do real quick. Okay, so you got me. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna get ready to bug out of here because I'm supposed to do another call at 12 o'clock with Miles from CrossFit South Cobb. We're gonna be looking at CrossFit over on my fitness channel. We'll be talking about that. Matter of fact, you might not even know. Do they know that I have another channel? I don't think they do. Here, let me put the link in the chat if Amethyst Angel hasn't already put it in there. So I have another channel where I just drop. I go over my goals and how I'm working on getting fit and all that kind of stuff like that, reading a book a week and all that. So that channel, I just dropped the link in the chat. If y'all want to join us over there at 1 o'clock, me and Miles are going to be talking about CrossFit and the history of CrossFit. Yeah. So I usually do a video while I'm walking, pertaining to truth. So come check us out over there. It'll be at 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So in about 2 hours. But everybody, thank you again. It means a lot that y'all tap in to the Monday morning show. I'm looking forward to doing this again, Lord willing. And by the way, we had a great time with Body Cam Bingo this weekend. So Body Cam Bingo will be back. Yes, we'll make sure we have it back. I got another channel. I'm out here in these streets, man. I'm out of here. Oh, wait. What are you mean talking about? For real? Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I'm not going crazy. You know what? You're right. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm over here rookie mistaking it all over the place. I'm a rookie. There we go. Is that the right link now? That's the right link. Yeah, the J-Wit vlog. All right, so I'm over there talking about how I'm trying to get healthy, trying to live long so I can have grandkids, all that kind of stuff like that. So y'all, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. It's been a lot of fun. Let's do this again. I'll see y'all if y'all want to come by and check out. Me and Miles are going to be talking about the history of CrossFit. And he's been a CrossFit affiliate for like almost 18 years. So he's got a long history. And he and I have been friends that long. So we got a lot to talk about. So it'll be fun. I will see you all over there if you want to at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, I got a couple of videos throughout the day that'll be dropping as well. So I'll see you all one way or another later on, everybody. Thank you again. I'll see you then. And until then, everybody, grace and peace. Have a great day.
Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor step foot on the path of sinners, nor sit in the seat of mockers. But his delight's in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He's like a tree planted by streams of water, yielding its fruit in season, whose leaf does not wither, and who prospers in all he does. Not so the wicked, for they're like chaff driven off by the wind. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord guards the path of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish.